How's it going, guys? So it is the week before the update, and there's still a lot of stuff just really being worked on in the background. But we do have a few things to show that are updated, like the details to the actual horse armor is pretty much finished. So, like I was saying last time, horses now have an inventory. You can go ahead and store it in there. They've got 12 slots, which is a cool thing. You don't need the armor for that. They just have it by default. So that's a very cool thing right there. Moving on, the wooden horse armor is a default blueprint, and the road sign needs to be researched for 500 and is a workbench level 2. Looking at them, they give horse protection plus 50% and rider protection plus 40, and wood is 25 and 20. So that's something that's a little bit different. Armor for the horse actually protects the driver, so I think that is a neat little addition right there. Definitely love the models still, they look great. So then, moving on from that, let's go ahead and look at the actual costs. So it's going to be 2 rope and 600 wood, that's not too bad. And over here is 5 road signs and 3 sewing kits. To get your hands on the horse armor, you're going to have to go to Bandit Camp, and you're going to have to find the right shop, which I believe is... it's supposed to be this one. Am I just blind right now? Blue card. Road sign gloves. Well, it's supposed to be for sale at the Bandit Camp. I'm not sure why. Did it get switched to Outpost? Doesn't look like it. Well, it's supposed to be at Bandit Camp. That is where we will be getting it. I'm not sure if it's going to drop in any kind of crates. Speaking of crates and changes, the actual oil rigs are seeing some changes to where all of the elite and green boxes will now be behind puzzles, and they've gotten rid of the recycler. This is something I have said for a long time needed to be done because people sit on there too long, and the recycler gives them the ability to do that. Now with the transport heli, there's an easy way to get off the oil rig. I think the risk of having to leave periodically instead of stacking up a bunch of stuff is just a lot better. Yes, it's somewhat inconvenient, but it also stops groups from just piling and piling and piling and piling, which I think is worth the trade-off there. As far as I know, there are some other new adjustments and balance changes that are going to be happening. We'll just have to see what those are over the next week or so. Now, in addition to that, we've gotten a look at a new instrument. Instruments are still being worked on, both models and how they'll function. We have the Jerrican Guitar from previously, really old concept art. That one is going to be used, as well as the current guitar is going to stay pretty similar to what it looks like, physically at least. It's going to function completely different, of course. And now we've got a tin can tambourine. Definitely a really cool looking thing. I love the look of it. And this has actually come from Rust's new Instagram, where they said they're going to be posting up pictures just to kind of share what's going on and, kind of what they look at internally. That means that not all of the stuff they post is a guaranteed something that's going to make it into the game. And that's where I bring this, where we've got the modular weapon system, or custom weapons. This is a picture they tweet out showing basically the custom parts that you could split a gun down into and then create your own kind of gun. This is something, their prototype weapon system that was on the roadmap. It's something they hope to get in, but it doesn't mean it's coming anytime soon. They just want to kind of share a picture related to that concept. So that is a very awesome thing right there. It's something I hope eventually does make it into the game, because it would be a very, very cool concept. Lastly, let's check through 2 more pictures here, and this is an update to HDRP. I'm sure most of you have seen it. I mean, honestly, these flowers look like it's almost a real world picture. It's insane. The end goal with this is that the game can look this beautiful but take up like half the resources it currently is. Hopefully that dream is something that happens, because this would be just totally amazing. It'd give a whole new breath of life into Rust. That performance and the beauty together is just a nice little package, so I hope that happens. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the changes to the map. So now when you are a team... Oh, and something I forgot to mention last time. You can actually move around your character and spin them by just left-clicking and dragging. So you can examine your character now, which is pretty cool. Now, okay, so once you are a team leader, you can now make markers on the map. This is something I mentioned but wasn't able to show. Now we can show it. So if I say, okay, everyone, let's meet at airfield, I just right-click and it shows up. To clear it again, we can right-click and clear it. It shows up on the compass as well, which I think is quite cool. Currently, only the team leader can make markers, but they're looking into possibly changing this. And the map itself also has seen some other cool changes, which is going to require us to go ahead and die. So let's go ahead and F1 kill. What? Really? I typed in F1 instead of hitting F1. And I think we are in God mode still. There we go. We have died. Blech. And here it is. So now you have a you have died, and up here will be all of the information you normally would have about who killed you, how far, a picture of their Steam profile and everything, which is really nice. And you know, you can see here it says I was killed by myself, obviously. So, but the respawn screen now shows all your different bags, and this is the last place I died. So it gives me a kind of like rough, hey, you died near here. So I'm like, oh, I died here and this bag is the closest. That's awesome. I mean, you know, literally we died on top of the bag. But it's cool. You've now got this death marker, as well as you can see all your bags, where they physically are around the map. Now, the first thing that's going to come to mind to anyone that's a content creator, well, shoot, if I'm streaming, this is going to be horrible. Don't worry, the team is working on making it to where you can hide this and you don't have to show people where all your bags are. So that's another thing they're always keeping in consideration in the community, which I think is a very cool thing there. So once you click on it, you can just click down there or select it and hit respawn, and boom, there you are. Right back and right near my body. So definitely a neat little change. I know some people maybe don't like the way the UI looks. You can see my last death also shows up on the regular map here. And if we look up top, it doesn't show in the compass. I don't know if it will or if it would just be the map for now. But definitely some very cool features. I think it's the right start in the right direction. And remember, nothing's ever permanent, but this is on staging if you want to check it out yourself, which is a cool little thing. So that about does it this week, guys. There is talks, well, not talks, but commits on a car garage. I'm assuming this is like a lift. This is something I proposed a while ago. And I'm glad to see that the team had the same kind of idea, because just having vehicles spawn randomly around the world is kind of OP. The fact that someone can just start off, grab a mini copter and some fuel, fly straight to the, you know, the oil rigs or something, or to the top of a monument, it's just kind of a little bit OP. And when cars get introduced, having them everywhere is just going to be a bit much. Aircraft, cars, horses, just free to pick up. Now, we know horses will eventually need taming, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with aircraft, but it's cool to see that the cars have like a crafting station, which I believe is what this garage is going to be. I'm hoping that eventually aircraft will have a helipad of sorts, so you can maybe add to the top of your base or the ground in front of it, and that's where you can craft and store your helicopters. That would be a cool thing. So maybe that means that's coming since they're doing it for the cars. The cars are a little bit more special because they're whole modular and upgradable kind of thing, so that's why they require a bench. So we'll just have to see how that goes, but definitely a neat thing there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll bring you back if there's anything else I missed or anything cool that pops up in the meantime. And we will see you for whatever skins get accepted later today. Have a great one.